Hey guys, it's Katie from Mattress Clarity. Today we have a super fun project. I'm going to take these blackout curtains and install them on these windows right here. We're going to talk a tiny bit about why you might need blackout curtains to begin with, but the majority of this video is going to be step-by-step instructions getting these blackout curtains with a traditional curtain rod on these windows. So if you're ready, grab your blackout curtains and grab your power drill and let's get started. So blackout curtains are, you guessed it, used to darken your room or block out the light in your room. People use them for a variety of reasons. Parents often have them in their kids' nurseries, so if their baby's going to sleep during the day, they can make it dark and quiet. That darkness really cues your body up for sleep and lets you know that it's time to rest. Another reason people use them is if they work during the night shift and they sleep during the day, or if you're like me and you lived in an apartment in New York City and you had a spotlight outside your window, these really came in handy. So I want to know, why are you using blackout curtains? Comment below and let me know what you need them for. What we're going to do next is go over all the materials and equipment you need to get these curtains on that window. Okay, before you get started installing, make sure you have all of your materials and equipment handy and accessible and that you've got everything you need. It will make the whole process so much easier. Of course, you're going to want to make sure you have actual blackout curtains. You want to make sure that you order the ones that say blackout on the label. There's all different types out there. Blackout curtains are going to give you the most coverage and make the room as dark as possible. The other thing you're going to need is some hardware. You're going to need mounting brackets with set screws. These are what's going to hold the curtain rod in place and you're going to be able to tighten those screws. You're also going to need knobs at the end of your curtain rods, of course, to keep your curtains in place. Another tool I always recommend if you have it is a power drill and a drill bit. It will make the whole installation process much easier. You're definitely going to want to have a measuring tape and a pencil handy. You're going to need to measure the width and the length of your window and the curtain rod, and you're going to want to make little marks on that with a pencil, and of course you want to erase it later on, so go with the pencil. You're also going to want to have a set of screws and wall anchors. Wall anchors are what's going to hold the whole thing into the wall, make sure it doesn't fall out, especially with heavy curtains. You're also going to want to use any instructions that your curtain rod or hardware come with. Those will also be very important. And I also recommend having a hammer handy. You never know when you're going to need one of those. Last but not least, the curtain rods. These are obviously vitally important to installing your blackout curtains. Make sure you've measured your window and you know how long it is, and get a curtain rod at the appropriate width. All right, that's it. All right, the next thing you're gonna wanna do is unpackage your blackout curtains, and you may notice right away that they have some deep creases in them. That's super common. Check the care label. Depending on what fabric they are, some may allow you to wash and dry them before using them, but you should at least be able to iron out the major wrinkles here. For us, this fabric was super easy to iron. We just did a low iron and the wrinkles came right out. All right, once you've got your tools and your materials, you're ready to start measuring. Now you want your curtain rod to cover a little bit above and more of the sides of your actual window. So when you think about your drapes and your curtains hanging down, they're gonna cover your whole window plus a little bit of extra. So we were working with some unique windows, and we knew that we were limited to 3 inches on each side, but we decided to measure 5 inches from the top of our window to maximize as much coverage and block as much light as possible. So we went ahead and measured and made a little mark on the 5 inches from the top and 3 inches from the side. But you have to take into consideration your brackets. So these are the things that are going to hold up the curtain rod. So what we did was we held the bracket up, and we knew that the curtain rod was going to be held at the 5-inch mark, but we needed to add a screw and a wall anchor slightly below that. So we went ahead and also drew a little dot where we knew exactly where the screw was going to go to make sure that we got the best, most accurate measurements. Okay, measurements are done. It's time to install. So you got to have your tools handy, but what you're going to do is first create a pilot hole in that little mark that you made where your screw and your wall anchor are supposed to go. So what you can do is either use a drill and a small drill bit, or you can use a hammer and nail to basically create a hole in the wall if you're not familiar with what's behind your wall. So if you're not sure if it's drywall, you're gonna hit a stud, go ahead and create that pilot hole. And then you're gonna take an appropriate size drill bit and you're gonna drill in a larger hole into the wall. Then you're going to take your wall anchor, which will probably come with your curtain rod, but if not, you can also buy it at a separate like Home Depot or hardware store. But basically, wall anchors are great, especially for heavier curtains like blackout curtains, because they will make sure that the rod and the curtain stay anchored to your wall and don't fall out. So what you're going to do is place that little piece of plastic, that wall anchor, into the hole you created with your drill, and then lightly tap it with your hammer until it's flush with the wall. Then you're going to take your actual mounting bracket, the thing that's going to hold up your curtain rod, and place it against the wall so that the area where your screw is supposed to be is basically where the wall anchor is. And then you're going to take your screw, place it into the wall anchor and use a screwdriver or a drill or whatever you need to secure it. But I'd highly recommend that you just make it a little bit loose and then secure all of the brackets at the same time at the end so that they're all perfectly even and everything is looking good. Once you've got your curtains on the actual curtain rod, go ahead and grab those knobs and twist them onto the end so the curtain will make sure to stay on the curtain rod, and then enlist the help of someone if you need it to help you lift up the curtain rod and connect them into one giant rod and put them on your window. We are dealing with a wide window on our end, so I enlisted one of my colleagues to help me, and we got it on there. So once you basically hook the rod into the little brackets, you're gonna find a little tiny screw. It's called a setting screw. Twist that so that the rod stays in place and you won't have any movement. So once you've got that rod secure, you've got the curtains on, close those blinds, close the curtains, and just enjoy that beautiful darkness that your blackout curtains are giving you. Should have really been able to cover as much of your window, if not a little bit more on the sides and the top, and giving you that full blackout experience. All right, so we managed to install our blackout curtains, but with any new project, there were definitely some highlights and some moments that we wish we could have changed if we could go back in time. So we collected all of our tips and put them together in a little list to help you when you install your blackout curtains. So the first thing is, if you can figure out what's behind your wall before you drill into it, that will make life a little bit easier. You can use a stud finder to figure that out, or you can drill a pilot hole, which is basically a tiny hole that lets you know if you're going to hit something hard and not fully be able to mount any brackets. So do yourself a favor and try and figure that out before you do any major drilling. Another thing we wish we had done was grab extra materials before you started the project. So extra wall anchors, extra screws, because you never know what you're going to get. When we unpackaged our box with our curtain rod and all the accessories it's supposed to come with, we got different brackets than we thought we were supposed to have. So we really would have benefited from some extra larger screws to be able to secure our brackets a little bit more thoroughly. If you're trying to install a blackout curtain on a super wide window like we were, consider asking a friend or a partner or someone to come help you, because you really are going to be working with quite a long space and a big curtain rod. So you might just need that extra set of hands, one to just give some extra body power to drill in some of these brackets, but also to help hold that curtain rod up and secure it to the wall so that you can have the best experience possible. And last but not least, try to be patient with yourself. Sometimes projects can go a little bit longer, have some unexpected curves sent your way, but that's all right. Just know that you're gonna get the curtains up and it's gonna be beautiful and dark and you're gonna have a great night's sleep tonight. All right, that's a wrap. We successfully installed our blackout curtains. We hope that you had success too. Of course, comment below or ask us any questions you might have. We are here to help. Blackout curtains can be a great asset for anyone who really needs some darkness. It helps cue your body to know that it's time for sleep. So if you've got a fussy baby who needs a nap this afternoon, or you work the night shift and you sleep all day, definitely consider installing some blackout curtains. At Mattress Clarity, we do more than just review mattresses, so like or subscribe for more content. All right, I'm gonna go take a nap.